Hello, everyone. Adabisi's here. How are you today? Welcome to the broadcast. I'm hoping that you can hear me well. Please drop in the chat if you can hear me. Make sure that you can hear me clearly. We'll give everybody a few minutes to join. I'm here in the United States, and I'm so excited to have you here. So please let me know that you can hear me clearly and that you can see my video right before we get started with this workshop, networking your way to the opportunities of your dreams. Hi, Courtney. How are you? Awesome. Awesome. I'm getting feedback that you can hear me and see me well. So that is wonderful. I'll give more people a couple more minutes to join before we get started and head over to our workshop. Wonderful. So I believe that we all can hear me. And we'll go ahead and get started. Please let me know in the comments if you cannot hear me or if you can't see my screen. I'm sharing my screen now for the workshop, Networking Your Way to the Opportunities of Your Dreams. And I'm so grateful for Global Changemakers for having me today. And I'm hoping that this workshop will be useful and beneficial to everybody who is looking to go into their corporate careers or even some part of their education, because networking is something that we all do every day, whether we believe it or not. So you're in the right place if you desire to learn more about what networking is and what networking is not. There's a big misconception of what exactly goes into networking. So I want to help dispel some myths that you may have. You're also in the right place if you're curious about how to avoid networking mishaps, those awkward moments, those times when we don't know what's going on, but we're having conversation with people, but we want to make sure that it's fruitful and beneficial to both parties. You're also in the right place if you want to learn how to position yourself as an expert networker so that you are able to get your network to work for you and build your net worth. What we'll cover today include the myths and the truths of networking, what really networking is, and how we can use it for our benefit in our careers or in our education, whatever walk or stage of life we're in. How to exit those dreadful not working conversations that you want to have a part of your network, but it just doesn't go the way that you expect. You're not speaking to the people that you thought you were speaking to or that you desire to speak to, and how you can be properly aligned to those people. And we'll also cover how to make your network work for you so that it's the beneficial circle of friends, a big community that helps you in the end to access what it is that you're looking to access. So my expectations for you today are to be present, be open, be engaged, chat with me in the box. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat box. I will answer your questions either as we're going, depending on how it's flowing, or towards the end of the webinar. So do not be shy. We're both here to grow and to work together to network. So a little bit about me, because I'm sure you probably don't know about me, but I would love to introduce myself to you. I am Adebisi Adebowale. I'm an international speaker, coach, social entrepreneur, youth advocate, and the world's only upliftologist. I'm in the study of helping people to be uplifted, to grow in their respective careers, as well as their education, so that they can have the best opportunity and best life of their dreams. I'm a two-time Bill Gates Millennium Scholar. I went to George Washington University, where I used my scholarship and graduated debt-free. I was a former White House intern under the Bush administration. And recently, I gave my first TEDx talk at TEDx Wilmington, What Now, on the topic Education for All, helping college-bound students prepare for the college application process. I help millennial scholars and leaders find their voice and purpose to maximize their time building the lives of their dreams into reality, so that they don't have to go through the same roadblocks and hardships that I or people of my generation have gone through before. I do this through my online courses and my coaching company, Upliftology. So now, without further ado, I want to head right into the myths and the truth of networking your way to the opportunities of your dreams. So one of the biggest myths that we often hear about networking, it's that it's attending happy hour working sessions, which are required by your management team when you're on the job. And let me go ahead and dispel that one for you. That is absolutely not true. Networking is not solely about going to happy hour. It's not solely about meeting up with people after the work gets done. Networking is about making genuine connections with people beyond the conversation that you have initially, beyond what you are speaking about at this time. It's keeping a circle of friends, a circle of coworkers, a circle of a community to help you out in your future. It's so that you can have a platform and people to study on as you go through your career, as you go through your education. Number two, networking is insincere and involves speaking about yourself and telling people what you do. Let me go ahead and tell you right now, that is not what networking is at all. If you find yourself being insincere or speaking only about yourself rather than doing listening, rather than figuring out how you can connect people, then for sure you are doing networking wrong. Networking takes time. It's talking about what you do well, taking your skills and your short and long-term goals and figuring out how you can grow, how you can stretch to your next level. It's not solely about you though. And that's what brings me to myth number 3. Networking is simply about interacting with someone for what they can do for you, about what you can manipulate out of people. And let me tell you, networking is not always about you. Oftentimes, it's never about you. It's truly about how you can connect someone else to others, how you can see the parallel in your contacts and your connections, and how you can help people bridge the disparity, right? It's about how you can bring your community together. Your network is your net worth. And you want to be able to bring those who you know together. Here in the US, we have a phrase that goes, there's always 6 degrees of separation from you to the next person. Meaning that if you know one person, chances are you know 5 people in between that can connect you to that other person, or have different means of communications that you can get to meet someone else who you thought you may never have met or who you didn't think that you had in your network. Having open and honest conversations with people allow you to build your network. It allows you to build the platform that you need so that people can be able to bridge together. Networking is not solely about building a collection of business cards. It's about building valuable relationships. Whether you meet someone on social media, whether you meet them in person, how do you take the conversation, the initial conversation, beyond speaking that initial time? How do you make a valuable relationship? First and foremost, building good relationships take time. It's not a one-time thing. It's not something that you do initially, but it's something that you build upon, right? If you meet somebody for the first time, you may simply get onto LinkedIn and send them an email. Hey, Courtney, for instance, it was great meeting you. I would love to stay connected. Building your network doesn't mean that you have to be in constant communication 24/7. It doesn't mean that you need to go on every social media platform and follow everybody. It doesn't mean that you have to go get coffee every once in a week, once in a while, or that you have to speak every day. Not at all. It's something that is continuous. It's something that is built up over time. But here's the trick with networking in 2019 and beyond. Social media. We have been blessed with such a great platform with social media where we can talk to anyone anywhere. Literally, we're connected right now. I'm here in the US giving this webinar, and some of you guys are in Europe, you're in Africa, some people are in other parts of America, South America, and we're able to build our network. And now we're able to engage in this conversation. There are going to be people who will come to this webinar sometime later on after it's said and done, but will be able to watch this webinar and connect with me afterwards to build their network. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Vimeo, Twitter, Pinterest, all of them are networking tools, but they don't have to stop there. Use it as a platform to garner and to initiate the conversation, but don't let it be the end of the conversation. So how does a good networker build the opportunities of his or her dreams? Well, I have 5 key ways to reach the opportunity of your dreams. 1, know who you want to speak to when you're in the room. Before you go to a networking opportunity or a networking event, make sure you know which networking event you're going to. It's important to know who's in the room, which CEOs are in the room, which founders of organizations, which presidents, which other students, which people from colleges and universities that you're looking to apply to are in the room, and do your research. Know who people are, know what roles they have, know what they stand for. So that way, when you engage in a conversation with them, you know what you're talking about. And that way they also show interest in you, because people love to feel loved, right? No one wants to get into a conversation where they're not being listened to, where they're not being heard. So it's important for you to know who you're speaking to when you start a conversation. Number 2, go to networking events with a purpose. Don't just go to go. Actually have a goal in mind of what you want to get out of the networking opportunity. Whether it's making one connect at a college or university, making one connect for a future job or internship, making one connect for someone who you can reach out to later on down the road, or someone who you can even connect with other parts of your network. It's not solely about you. You're looking to build community. You're looking to build people around you so that when you're able to reach out, when you have need to reach out, that they're there. Provide value when you go to these networking opportunities. Offer to help with something major. So for instance, if you are looking for a job and you're in between college and your career, feel free to take an internship for 2 to 3 months where you're not getting paid. Typically, it's awkward, to work for somebody full time and not be paid after college. But let's be real. There's so much competition in the marketplace right now. There's so much going on in the marketplace. Not everybody will have the opportunity to pay you initially, especially in this day and age with startups, especially in this day and age where people are looking for support but don't have the financial means. So if you offer to help for free, imagine what that can do for you later on in your career, later on in your network. People are going to remember you being a helping hand. People are going to remember you for the help that you gave them throughout the time where they had need. Providing value will never go unnoticed. It will never go unappreciated. So when you're able to give services where you don't charge, where you don't feel that you have a reason to be paid, people will appreciate you for that. When you're at a networking event, breathe, take it easy, and pinpoint who you want to talk to. You do not need to talk to everyone. I know that may come as a surprise, thinking that I need to figure out who everyone else is in the room, meet everyone, talk to everyone, and make friends with everyone. But let me be the first to tell you, if you never heard this before, you don't need to talk to everyone in the room. Everyone is not going to have your best interests at heart. Not everybody's going to work in the community that you're looking to get into. When you know where you're going, when you know the audience that you're speaking to, It's easy for you to figure out and pinpoint who you need to speak to. It's easy to figure out who you can engage with so that you can build the opportunities of your life, of your dreams, right? You want to make sure that you're connecting with the right people, with the right CEOs, with the right companies, with the right industries. So know who you're talking to and pinpoint those people so that you don't have to get to everybody. Here is my fifth key way to reach the opportunity of your dreams. And this is very, very, very important. Many people do not do this, and that's what gets us caught up in our networking opportunities. People don't follow up. It is important to follow up, be it on social media, be it with an email. Take 3 minutes to say, "Hey, Adebisi, it was great meeting you today. I would love to connect sometime in the future about how we can collaborate with Upliftology." 2 minutes to take and send an email, a LinkedIn notification, even on Facebook direct message. If you notice the person that you're looking to build on your network is big on social media, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, take time to get into their inbox and direct message them. You'll be surprised by how many people will appreciate that. Even if the response comes 2-3 days later, at least you're giving them the opportunity to see you, to remain on top of their mind. They can answer you at any given time, whatever time is best for them. This way, you're able to build your community, to make the contact, and remain in their circle. You may not get a response right away, but at least that you're showing interest and that they're seeing it. Be visible to your contacts. Be visible to your community. Everybody wants to be appreciated. Everyone wants to be noticed, right? So when you follow up with the contact that you made in person, it shows that you are listening, that you're engaged, that you're interested, and that you want to build a relationship beyond that initial conversation. Following up is key in networking. It is key. So if you get a business card, utilize the email, utilize the Facebook message, utilize LinkedIn message. It is crucial for your success. Here are some other tips for networking. When you go to these networking events, a good networker knows when enough is enough. For example, they know when to stop talking. You don't need to do most of the talking. Once you ask a question of the person that you're looking to connect with, guess what? They are more than willing and more than intrigued to answer. We have 2 ears for a reason. We should listen twice as much as we speak. Take the time to ask leading questions that will open up the dialogue for conversation, that will cause people to speak with you, that will cause people to connect with you. You want those who you are speaking to have a reason to speak back to you and to engage in conversation. You want those people to say, "Oh, I love speaking to Courtney. Oh, I love speaking to Jennifer. Oh, I love speaking to Mike," because they want to know that you're listening to what they have to say. What they say matters to you. A good networker also understands the importance of staying connected. You may not be the person that they need at the time, but maybe you have a friend, maybe you have a classmate who you could connect to that contact, who you can connect to someone who you met. Oftentimes, and I've seen this happen before, where there are internships, there are job opportunities, there are programs or communities where they ask, "Do you have a friend that you can bring along?" And guess what? When you bring a friend along, it extends your network, it extends your community. Remember what I said earlier about being 6 degrees of separation? If you bring in people to your network and also introduce them to your network, that expands your 6 degrees of separation to other people whom you may have not known. It connects you to people further and beyond what you can imagine. A good networker knows how to make his or her network work for them by staying connected, by being engaged. Loose communication is needed when you're building your network. Don't forsake that. You don't need to have a reason to connect with someone all the time, right? Just saying hello, how are you? I wanted to check in with you. I wanted to check in with how your job is coming along. How is working at that Fortune 500 company that you wanted to work at? How is working at the startup coming along? I'm thinking about going to a startup myself once I leave in 6 months. Would you recommend it? Those loose conversations build your connections. Those loose conversations build your contacts, right? It opens up your network to more people whom you didn't know existed. And that way, when you're ready to transition to a next job, transition to an internship, transition into going back to school for your graduate degree, it allows you to have contacts that you can reach out to at a later point. And even if though that person is not the person for you, maybe they know someone whom they can connect you with. I know that has happened to me oftentimes. It's happened to me a lot where I built a community around me that even though I may not have need that person for 1, for 2, maybe even 3 years, I'm able to go back to my LinkedIn and build those connections so that I can enable a community around me so I can reach out and get the next job opportunity. I know that one time I actually went to Panera Bread, right, to have lunch, which is Panera Bread, if you don't know, is a big restaurant for lunch, for a healthy meal. So I was sitting there doing some work for my business, and I saw a friend's brother whom I hadn't seen in years, and I started speaking with him, and we had a great conversation, and I told him what I was doing with my business, and then he literally connected me with somebody who he knew back in New York. I live in Washington, D.C., so about 4 hours drive from here. And he connected me with that person, and it helped me with a business opportunity. I didn't know this person at all, but my network was working for me because I decided to say hello, to engage in conversation. I made my network work for me. Networking is not solely about what you know, it's also about who you know. I mean, take the example that I just gave a few minutes ago. Speaking with my friend's brother was the right time and the right opportunity for me. You know, the conversation didn't just stop there at Panera Bread. It went on through email, it went on through conference call, it went on through meetings with other people within the company. So I was able to build connections and contacts beyond what I had initially. I was so grateful for that conversation. I was so grateful that I chose to say hi to him because I hadn't seen him in years. He had moved away and gone to college, but thank goodness we were able to engage in conversation that opened up an opportunity for me. I see questions coming in on the webinar, so I'll come to it. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat and we'll answer them shortly. The reality of networking is that people hire and support and recommend people who they know and who they like. Let me tell you right now, if you're not speaking to people, if you're being shy about networking, if you're being shy about having a conversation, even just simply introducing yourself and telling people what you do, what you're about, what your goal is, your short-term and your long-term goals, it will make it very difficult for people to know you. People can't like you if they don't know you. You can look great, you can smile beautifully, your hair can be luscious and curly, whatever it may be. If people don't have a connection with you or have a way to connect you with someone else whom they know, there's no way they can support you, right? There's no way they can hire you. If you don't engage in those proper conversations and open up the dialogue so that you can have the connections, then it makes it difficult for people to be able to relate to you. Simply open up the conversations. Say hello, introduce yourself, tell them what you're about, what your short-term goals are about. That way you can have the support. That way you can build the support, you can build the community, you can build the recommendations that you need down the line. And that way you can have opportunities that come knocking at your door. Networking is about relationships, career, opportunities, colleagues, common interests. It's not only about jobs. It's not only about school. It's not only one thing. Networking is everywhere, right? It's your family ties. It's your business ties, your career ties. It's your school ties. It's about opening up the conversation so that you could connect people. Your network doesn't stop with one area or one avenue of what you think it may be. It's also about who you can connect yourself with. It's about where you can connect and plug yourself in. Your network, your community can come from your family and your friends. Your community can come from your colleagues. Your community can come from your classmates. That is why social media is so Wonderful. Classmates whom you haven't seen in years, possibly even decades, can come back and circle around if you build up that community. When you have social media posts, feel free to ask a question. You don't always have to post a picture. You can ask a question in the comments that can engage conversations. Those conversations allow you to build connections. It allows you to build conversations so that you can open up the dialogue for connecting with people beyond the social media posts, beyond what you said initially. You'll be surprised how many times people will be able and interested in engaging in conversation once you open up the dialogue. So don't be shy and allow yourself to have free reign with the opportunities. So now let's discuss, how are you building your network? I see a couple of questions came in, and one starts, what can you do in a situation where you met someone at a conference a long time ago, did not follow up immediately, and now would like to contact them? Let me just say, you simply contact them. Don't even hesitate. I have done that several of times. I had a contact who I met, I believe it was now 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. It was September 2016. And I literally recently emailed him. And I haven't gotten a reply back yet, but I know that it's coming. Why? Because I see him engaging on social media. I see him contacting. I also have contacts where I've emailed them 3, 4 years ago, right? Excuse me, I met them 3, 4 years ago, and I hadn't contacted them since then. I email them and I get a response immediately. Sometimes it's a 1 or 2 liner. Hey, let's set up some time to connect over a phone call, or over coffee, and whatever one is best for us is the one that we'll schedule. I have people who don't respond right away, but I know that if I follow up once again, that people will reply. People like consistency and they like persistence. Once you do it, if you do it once and you don't follow up yourself, it's easy for people to forget you. It's easy for people to forget that you had that contact. So don't be afraid. Don't think that you can't contact people after years of meeting them initially. Drop them a line via email, via communication. If you follow them on social media and you see that they are actively engaged on social media, now social media tools have the advantage of emailing within their platform, right? We have Instagram, instant messaging, direct messaging. We have Facebook Messenger. We have LinkedIn Message. Feel free to get into people's inboxes. Don't hesitate. You can like a post. You can make a comment that, hey, I dropped you an email. Please circle back with me when you have the opportunity. And I had people who've done that number of times to me, and I've done it as well. And it works easily for me. In times where it seems there are not enough hours in a day, how do you keep up with these connections? Let me tell you, and actually I'll come out of the video so that you can see my face. You don't have to email everybody every day of the week. It's impossible to do that. It's literally impossible. That's what I mentioned loose connections for earlier. Drop a line of, hey, I was thinking about you. How are you doing today? I hope all is well with you and your family. That's networking. It's as simple as that. That is networking. You don't have to have long conversations. You don't need to write essays in your emails. You don't need to write long-winded responses. Just checking in with people. There may come a time when you need to connect with that person on something more specific. But when you have loose conversations, engaging conversation with, how are you, checking in with you, people love that. People love to feel appreciated. People love to feel welcome. People love to feel as if they're being seen. So when you're able to have a connection with people and just check in here and there, it's easy to build up that rapport and that connection over time. It's not a one-time thing. It's not a one communication event. It's contact over time that builds the relationship. And when people know what you do, like for instance, I'm in higher education consulting and helping the young youth build their careers, build their dreams of their lifetime, building the opportunities that they desire so they can make their dreams reality. People know that I'm in the higher education space. People know that I'm in the youth empowerment space. So whenever they think of people to come to speaking engagements, to connect with their youth, they think of me. But I don't necessarily only connect with people about that. I connect with them about their family. I connect with them about their careers. Don't think that you have to have conversations over one platform over a specific time or every day. It doesn't have to be every day. What is the right amount of time to wait before you follow up? So that's a great question. When you meet someone face to face, if you meet someone on a Friday, for instance, at a networking event, I personally like to email the following Monday when people are back in the groove of business, when they're back in the groove of thinking what they have to do on the job, what they have to do while they're in the space in which you met them. Get to them where you met them so that you can stay top of mind. If you meet someone over the weekend, again, follow up the next business day. If you meet someone on a Monday, on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, I typically like to connect within 24 to 48 hours. So if you have a conversation with someone those first 4 days of the work week, try to get to them within that same span of time. Don't hesitate in following up because you want to stay top of mind. You want people to know that you were interested in the conversation, that you were actively listening, and that you were present while they were there with you. Don't hesitate to have that conversation immediately. However, there are times when following up may not be top of mind for you because you have so much going on. You yourself are busy. So if you remember somebody 1 week, 2 weeks out, even 2 months out, don't hesitate to drop a line and say, "Hi, this is Adabisi. We met at Global Changemakers webinar, Networking Your Way to Opportunity of Your Dreams. And I just wanted to touch base with you." There are going to be people, for instance, that watch this webinar months down the road, and today's February 2019. I may not see that email until September. That's perfectly fine. That means that we were still in connection. That you're still able to follow the trend of what's going on. If you have any other questions, please feel free to drop them. So I'm back. If you have any other questions before we head off the webinar, feel free to drop them below in the chat box. I want you all to keep in mind that networking should not be a daunting task. Networking should not be awkward. It should not be something that weighs you down. Let me tell you that you're networking every day. You're networking with people whom you're not even thinking that you're networking with, right? Have you ever noticed that there are times when your mom or your dad introduce you to someone that you didn't even think that you needed to know, but it comes back to you full circle? There are times when you meet a teacher, a fellow student who you didn't think that you had a connection with. That's building your network. Don't feel that networking has to be a task that you take on to speak with people out of obligation, out of necessity. It's something that you do to build your circle and that you should be able to connect other people with. Let me know if you have any other questions. Feel free to drop it in the chat box. If we don't see any other questions, we'll head off shortly. But watch this webinar again. Take notes. Figure out how you can make your network work for you. Get onto LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever social media platform you like, or even if you like the traditional route of emailing people one-on-one so that you can get into their inbox, feel free to drop people emails, connect with them. Don't hesitate. People love to be connected. People love to feel noticed and love to speak to other people. Another tip that I have for you, going back to the question about what's the right amount of time to speak with people, email early. When people get to the office, they love to check their emails, They love to check their emails first thing in the morning to see what's going on, to see what their next task is for the day. So when they see your email early, people tend to reply emails early in the day. So get into inboxes as early as you can. Social media, you can email at any time because people usually are on it intermittently during the day. You check it at all odds hours of the day. But emails, especially for a job opportunity, get into email boxes early, especially for high up executives. How do you optimize your LinkedIn for networking? That is my prime source for networking for my business because business people are in LinkedIn, right? corporate people are on LinkedIn. That's the social media platform for people who are in corporate America, who are in corporate settings, who are in jobs, 9-to-5 jobs. LinkedIn should be connections for people who are in higher education, who are looking to go to colleges, and you see where people went to school and now you're seeing their jobs. Use it to connect with people all over. You get people's resumes right in front of you, even if you're not an employer, even if you're not looking to be hired on the job. Use LinkedIn to be able to connect with people so that you can find the right conversation, so that you can have the right conversations with people in the job that you're looking to get into, the opportunities that you're looking to get into, the colleges that you're looking to get into. I have people who are always emailing me about the George Washington University, where I went to college. I graduated just about 10 years ago, and I have people who are asking me about study abroad opportunities, about the school, the internships that I had all the time, because I have those things listed on my LinkedIn. Before you contact anybody, read through what they have on their bio. It's there for a reason. You're able to understand who you're connecting with, what roles they played at their job, what roles they played in their college, if they had any extracurricular activities that they were a part of. Don't be afraid to look up people. Don't be afraid to Google search people. Don't be afraid to find out who you're speaking with so that you can have those connections. And then when you email them, you can leverage that information. Hi, Adebisi. I saw that you went to the George Washington University. I actually am interested in applying to the school. Can you tell me more? Or can you connect me with somebody who can give me more information? It's as simple as that. Don't overthink it. It doesn't need to be a long essay, because oftentimes people don't even have that much time to give you a long reply. People like short communications over social media, over email. And if you want to have a longer conversation, invite them to coffee, invite them to lunch, invite them to dinner, whatever works best for your schedule. But don't hesitate to use those social media platforms to connect with people. Let me know if you have any other questions. Drop it in the chat so we can talk about networking and how you can build your network. I will say there have been often times where I use Instagram to actually direct message companies where I build my connection with them. I don't know who I'm speaking to. If it's the CEO who's running their social media, if it's an intern, an ambassador directly for the company, but I email them and I say, hey, Global Changemakers team, how are you? I'm interested in connecting with you because I have these services, I have this business platform, I have these contacts, and I would like to connect you with my contacts. How could I serve you? How could I help you? People love when people give things away for free. People love things where they connect with when they have genuine relationships with people based on what they do and how they can work together. So don't think that you have to use one platform. There's no specific platform that you have to use. There's no specific tool that you have to use. We have so many different options. Well, all right, you guys, this brings us to the end of our webinar. I hope this was useful for you. I would love to connect with you. You can find me on social media at abc.co or Upliftology on all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Follow my pages, connect with me. Don't feel afraid to email me or direct message me on any of the social media platforms. You can visit me on my website at upliftology.co. I'll drop that in the chat box for you so that you can connect with me. I had such a great time speaking with you today. I hope this webinar was useful for you. Connect with me and we'll talk some more. Have a great day. Bye-bye.